I want to say thank you. Thank you to all of you, and thank you to all the speakers for all their contributions. I hope that you've enjoyed this magic carpet ride through the awakening of consciousness, of stirring up the cauldron of so many different amazing conversations, of exploring the awakening process, the awakening of the goddess, the spiritual awakening, and all the different meditations, activations, healing energy, and enlightenment and joy and exploration into all the different ways of seeing and perceiving the awakening, the goddess within. It has been an incredible, incredible journey. So thank you for being on this journey with us. And for all of you that have signed up for the All Access Pass, thank you so much for your contributions in supporting the Amazon Rainforest and Pachamama Alliance and Women's Refuge. I greatly appreciate that. And if you have not signed up for the All Access Pass, make sure you do. There's so many bonuses, so many treasures, so many extras that are in the All Access Pass that all of the different speakers have so generously given to this summit. Given to you for your awakening journey. And to end, we have a beautiful, beautiful sacred ceremonial ending with Anodea Judith. She's going to read a beautiful poem by Oberon Zell's partner, Morning Glory Zell. It's about an archaeologist that found all the pieces of the goddess and are putting those pieces back together again. To me, the poem is so symbolic on so many different levels, symbolic of my own personal spiritual journey of, recreating my belief system. And in order to do that, in order to create the new paradigm within and the new paradigm on the outside, sometimes things have to be shattered. Sometimes the pieces have to go everywhere. Sometimes it gets a little messy. And sometimes that forest, needs to be completely cleared in order for the phoenix to rise up out of the ashes. In order for the new earth and the new paradigm to be born, sometimes it has to, fall apart at the seams in order to then be built back together again. So that's a little bit about what the poem is about. But I'll let Anodea Judith go ahead and read that poem as well as do a closing Awakening the Goddess Within meditation. Thank you, Anodea.
This is called Broken Goddesses, and it was written by Morning Glory Zell, who unfortunately is no longer with us. The hole is deep now. Parched desert winds howl into the excavation. She finds her image in pieces. First a torso, then a buried head, arms and legs scattered through millennia. Carefully, she brushes the dirt away and wraps each piece tenderly in wool, stowing them inside a wicker basket, treasure of the ages, triumphantly borne away by a woman who searches the past. She has found what she was looking for today, but she must put it all back together again, and this time it had better be right. For days, she just sits and looks at all the pieces laid out like a broken doll, like an abortion, like a puzzle. And then there is the problem of the glue. It must truly marry the fragments, adding no distorting filler or seams. Turning a torso in her hands, she feels the potter's shaped echo in her own being. The roundness of breast, the curve of her waist, hips just so. Creation starts here, swelling in the belly and pushing out of her darkest crack. She touches her own crevices, curves, and corners, familiar territory, lends experience to the process of restoration. Ah, yes, the legs go here, one by one, picking them up and putting them down. Lady, if you could have run away faster, would they still have caught you and broken you? And now for the head. The face is hauntingly familiar. Dark, sad eye holes, tiny little nose, crooked, knowing smile. The eternal face of the goddess unveiled, older than Mona Lisa, wiser than Sappho, funnier than Mae West. Where has she seen that face before? Looking out of a cracked mirror, herself at herself, a crack of madness dividing the features, left from right, female from male, evil from good. How can she bring it all back together? Heal the cracked psyche, the fractured self-image. She looks at the tiny, perfect face in her hand. It is dirty, but whole. It is beautiful, even lovable. Cautiously, she balances the head back on her neck. Oh, Marie Antoinette breathes a sigh of relief. The head fits perfectly, the surfaces knowing each other intimately, whole again, with only a small scar for a reminder. Women often lose their heads so over minor things. Next come the arms, for what is faith without works? These small white hands have strong fingers, but few calluses. Yet from these hands flow the abundance of all of nature, the pride of workmanship, balm of compassion, source of healing, the 1,000 hands of Tara, of Kuan Yin, holding a lotus in one, a scourge in the other. Glue them firmly into place now. She must have arms to work for disarmament. Bit by bit, she's coming back together now, the woman in the mirror and the goddess in her hand. One of these days, they will both be whole. And then the images will slide seamless, one into the other, herself to herself. How many broken goddesses are scattered all over this planet? You can see them everywhere you look, scattered wits and shattered dreams. And don't forget the lumbered forest and the plundered seeds, raped and battered, torn and tattered, bruised and broken, yet miraculously still alive. She's coming back together now, bit, by seed and by shoot, by flower and fruit, by light and by love from below and above. The goddess in the mirror, the woman in her hand, the goddess within us all.
Thank you, Anodea. That's such a beautiful poem. So powerful, so powerful, and in reverence and in honor to Morning Glory for her beautiful contribution on the planet, for the time that she was here with us. And my love and my blessings go to her now and Oberon Zell for their contribution to humanity, to awakening the goddess within and sowing those beautiful seeds. And thank you, Anodea, and thank you to all of you that are here with us. This is not just an ending, this is a beginning, the beginning of your awakening within, the beginning of your seed. You know, what is your seed that you want to plant? What is your soul path purpose? What is your contribution to this beautiful green and blue planet? And we're going to end this journey, but it's only the ending of a new beginning. And I'm so excited of what's in store for the seeds that all of you will be planting on this beautiful, beautiful awakening journey. So Anodea is going to guide us through an ending meditation. And yeah, thank you, Anodea.
Take a deep breath in and let it out. And as you do, begin to feel your body, your inner temple. As we had temples of old, where when you walked across the threshold, you let fall away the worries of the world. And as you come slowly into your breath and remove your attention from this outer world, let this modern day, male-dominated outer world fall away. That world of pushing and doing and competing and accomplishing and running around, let that fall away. Let it fall off your shoulders. Let it empty from your belly. And as it does, imagine you are journeying through time, deep time, long before there were cars and long before there were lights, long before there were big cities, to a time when people lived on the land. And at that time, the cycles of the seasons was so important. The promise of the springtime and its rebirth, the height of the summer and its ripening of the fruits, the fall harvest, bringing in those fruits from the summer to get you through the winter, and the winter's deep rest. And the cycles of the seasons and the day and the night and the sun and the moon. They were the center of our lives. And back then, there was a time when the goddess roamed freely among us, when women were revered as priestesses of the goddess, when the feminine and the masculine had a partnership, when Mother Earth truly was seen as a living being, Gaia, when the moon and her cycles reflected the cycles of a woman. Birth was sacred. Women's mysteries were sacred. A time when we walked in temples, torches lit by the entryways, altars built, priestesses in beautiful robes, adorned with jewels, welcoming the weary travelers so they could be renewed in the blessings of the goddess. This was a time of wholeness. But we lost this time. New religions came in and wiped out the belief and worship of the goddess. She was plowed underground. Some who believed in her or mentioned her name could even be killed. And she was forgotten. And the world of men took over and brought us many gifts and many things, but they also dominated. And mysteries were lost, important mysteries that are part of the balance of life. And just as we cannot have birth without the feminine being impregnated and carrying the new and giving birth, we cannot have a rebirth on this planet without awakening the goddess to walk hand in hand with the god, to establish as many goddess temples as there are churches and synagogues and mosques, so that her name in her many, many, many forms are not forgotten. And that women know there is a sacred divine that they can awaken inside themselves. So this we imagine in our meditation now. We call the goddess back. And we call her back especially into ourselves, whether you're male or female, to bring the goddess into your heart so that we may have balance in the world. Imagine that now, the softness, the color, the colorful flowers, the beauty of the green hills, the miracle of birth, the power of compassion, the goddess of love, celebration, joy, sexuality, creativity, creatrix, mother, magna mater, mother, matter. We all welcome this back into our hearts, our bodies, and our souls. So mote it be.